So, check it. Jesus, y'all, fulfilled the law. Yes, he fulfilled it. To fulfill means to complete and or establish something. So first he had to take it back from the Pharisees and the scribes. He had to say, hey, get all that extra stuff off of there. Get all this extra stuff off of there, you guys. Give me that Torah. I need to fulfill it. And then he says, you have heard it said of old time, thou shalt not kill. Whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But then he expounded on that. He said, whoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment. Fill that Torah up a little bit more. Whoever shall say to his fool, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. Let's fill that Torah up a little bit more. It goes on, you've heard it said of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say, whoever stares at a woman to lust after her in his heart has committed adultery already. Let's fill up that Torah a little more. And so he did with all the commandments and all his teachings. He filled up the Torah, completed it after having taken it back, taken off all the man-made laws and statutes, doctrines of the scribes and Pharisees. Completed it, filled it up, fulfilled it. But then he established it. Said, look, I have come. I have given you the full, complete Torah. Now here you go, my disciples. Take this and follow it. Yeah. So he did not come fulfill it, establish it, and then do away with it. No, he came to fulfill it, establish it, and he passed it on to his disciples. And you see that this is the case. And in his own words, you love Messiah, I love Messiah. So we have to pay attention to his words and his teachings. And he says in that same chapter, think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I have not come but to destroy. Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill the Torah. I have come to fulfill it, complete it, and establish it. So think not that I have come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you that till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall no ways pass from the Torah till all be fulfilled. Whosoever shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And then in chapter 7, talking about the narrow way, the believers come to him in that time, in that day. And he says, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. The will of his Father is that we come into relationship with him, love him, worship him in spirit and truth, and to do his commandments, the Father's commandments. The Torah, the same Torah that Jesus, Yahusha, came, took, completed, filled up, and established. And it's told us he came not to destroy, but to do that very such thing, But not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? In thy name have cast out devils, in thy name have done wonderful works. Then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that are transgressors of the Torah. It says, ye that work iniquity, but iniquity is sin. And we will see sin is the transgression of the Torah. So if you are working iniquity, if you have a life of iniquity, you have a life of transgressing Torah. I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity, ye that are transgressors of the Torah. And then he says in chapter 23, Jesus spoke to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever he, Moses, when the Pharisees and scribes sit in Moses' seat and speak of Moses' books, writings, teachings, which is the Torah, when the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, he, being Moses, all therefore whatsoever he bids you observe, that observe and do, but not do after their works. The scribes and Pharisees, the hypocrites, for they say and they do not. So if they speak to you out of Moses' seat, that observe and do, but of their own sayings and teachings, their own works, do not, for they are hypocrites. And it is extra man-made doctrines. And we see in Acts chapter 10, when Peter was given the vision, Peter said, not so. This is after the Lord's death, burial, resurrection, and ascension. Sometime later, Peter says, when he gets that vision of the animals on the sheet, it says, not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. You see, Peter still observing Torah, still not eating meats that were unclean. And he didn't understand this vision, but he obeyed the Lord. And then he later says, after the conversion of Cornelius and his household, he said unto them, you know that it is unlawful for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come to one another nation. But God has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. So as in that time and that witness, when they were converted and spoke the tongues back to them, as a witness of them having that conversion, he finally understands that the vision was about the Gentiles who were not clean, who were dogs. Finally, God saying that they had been approved now to receive the gospel just as them, and had shown them that, and correlated that and related that to him in a way he could understand through the vision, where he says, God has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Ananias, the man who laid his hands upon Paul, and then Paul becoming Saul, but laid his hands upon him and he received his sight again. It speaks of him in Acts 22. Paul's giving a testimony. He says of one Ananias, a devout man according to the Torah, having a good report of all the Jews even which dwelt there. So Ananias, a disciple of the Lord, who went to lay healing hands on Paul, was a devout man according to the Torah, and even had a good report of all the Jews living there. John tells us in 1 John, whosoever committeth sins transgresses also the Torah, for sin is a transgression of the Torah in 1 John. So John was still observing the Torah. And then in Revelations, it says the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Chapter 14, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh, of God, and the faith of Jesus. Revelation 22, and blessed are they that do Yahweh's commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and enter in through the gates of the city. So it is faith, and your faith produces the works, and the works is the Torah. So search that Torah and keep and walk just as Jesus commanded and the disciples did.